All right, folks, thank you for joining me tonight. It is 12/19/2022. We're getting ready to celebrate Christmas, and I hope you guys are ready to have a fantastic holiday season. We got a little bit of snow coming down here in the Pacific Northwest, so we're having a good time. I wanted to make a quick channel update, though, and fill you guys in on where we're at. So obviously, you guys know when it snows, I get very busy. My property service business does snow and ice melt servicing. So we get very busy working night shifts and very long shifts, to say the least. So very busy, but we're still banging out interviews and content for you guys. So I got some exciting things on the way. XDC Deep Dive is going to be dropping Christmas Day. That is my little Christmas gift for the community. Really looking forward to bringing that one to you guys. But then today I had the opportunity to interview one of the best researchers within not just the XRP community, but he covers all of cryptocurrency, distributed ledger technology, and we call it the fourth industrial revolution. And that was Citizen of the Future. He is Utility Theory on Twitter. I think it's his handle. And so I will show you guys here. But this guy is definitely one of the best researchers in the game. Really appreciate everything that he has done for the community. And in this video, I wanted to cover, we had like an hour and a half long session, and I'm going to be premiering that video most likely on Wednesday. So make sure you hit the notification bell. Don't miss any of our content. But I'm having my guy edit up the recording, and we're going to post it to probably drop on Wednesday. So be ready for this one. It's about an hour and a half of a deep dive on the fourth industrial revolution, new financial system, how it's all being laid out behind the scenes while the masses are distracted. And we talked about in this session how it's all done by design, how they have us looking at Sam Bankman-Fried, always going to be extradited back to the United States. It just got announced just a few hours ago. And so that has everyone looking one way while we have just an incredible revolution happening on the back end to digitize not just our financial system, but the whole world around us and how we connect to it. Now, in this session, I kind of just let him do his thing. He dropped the sauce for, like I said, well over an hour. And I just gave him an opportunity to kind of share all of his research documentation, the mind maps that he's created. And as a visual learner, I really appreciate the way that he's been able to organize it all, collect it all, and present it in a way that's easy to understand. For someone like myself that is a visual learner, it's a fantastic thing that he's done. And so huge shout out to Citizen of the Future. Like I said, here's his Twitter. Make sure you guys go give him a follow. Utility Theory is the handle. Okay. Make sure you guys check out this guy's stuff. So I want to show you guys basically in the session there, we talked about this new connection that he came across with Elon and X.com, basically backlinking to the Ripple page, ripple.com page way back in the day. This was in 2012 when X.com was literally referring to Ripple as this trust network and talking about the different use cases that it had and the ability that this network would, basically the vision of this network. And so before I get into that, I want to, this is going to be just kind of a sneak peek of the whole session that's going to be dropping here shortly. But I want to give you guys a little bit of a background. So in 2004, I believe, Ryan Fugger basically created Ripple Network. And the Ripple Network was basically a vision that he created. He created the Ripple Network. It was something that he's been working on since as early as 2004, I believe. And what ended up happening is he just didn't have the technology and he didn't have XRP, the currency, to kind of finalize the vision. So later on down the road, what ended up happening was Jed McCaleb, Arthur Brito, David Schwartz, the three creators of the XRP ledger, created XRP in 2012. And then the company Ripple was founded shortly thereafter. And that basically finalized, and right now Ripple is completing the vision of the original Ripple network that was called Ripple Pay. And so what we're seeing here is back in 2012 with X.com, which is Elon's company, X.com, and it was basically an earlier version of PayPal. And I believe it ended up being bought out by PayPal, and then it's kind of just faded away, but it's been brought back alive with Elon's acquisition of Twitter. So this conversation has been going on in the XRP community for a while, and now we're finally starting to see that he is making the moves, starting to implement payments into Twitter. Looks like it's part of the plan here. And so this was just one of the connections, one of the things that was shared in this session with Citizen of the Future, but I wanted to build a little bit of hype for this session that we had. It was an incredible session. I'm incredibly thankful for him. But this was a massive one. And so he sent me over this document. Check this one out, guys. This is on, I believe Citizen of the Future runs this. It's like a blog or a newsletter called The Lighthouse. But he shared this one, The Grid by Citizen of the Future. And if you guys want to watch his full deep dive, Elon Musk and the transformation of Twitter, you can check it out. This is a link to his YouTube video right there. And so this is a good little article. And right here, he says, the following content, which took him 25 hours to put together. Like I said, this guy has put together probably just thousands of hours between all the research that he's done. But in this article, he's talking about what Elon Musk is planning with Twitter infrastructure and his x.com domain and paths for future of Twitter 2.0, the results of backlink analysis from x.com and the uncovering of documents that have been shown on mainstream internet since 2012, which showcase some of the original vision of x.com. Then we have comparisons of Facebook and Twitter users from a decade of growth, 2012 to 2022. So just how quickly this is happening, right? This technology that, obviously the .com bubble, and basically crypto is going through the same thing right now, where the fugazi, the nonsense, the fake, the shillers, the BS, he calls it the shit coins, that are about to get taken away, is kind of the growing pains that the crypto space is going through right now. But what we have here is an article showing how Ripple Trust Networks were an early discussion point from X.com and how they are transferring money, which lead me to finding Ryan Fugger's original Ripple website dated back to 2006. So the original Ripple Pay website goes all the way back to 2006, but I believe he basically started, the idea came about in 2004, and I think that he started it then. Snippets from articles relating to X.com in 2012 discussing how the future of money is the web towards national cryptocurrencies and what would happen if social media and payments merge and we discover a new payments utopia and much more. So I highly encourage you guys, if you want to listen to the full deep dive, this link right here. I'm going to share this link. This is going to be one of the links and resources that I'll be sharing in the description of the video of the full interview with Citizen of the Future, because he shared a lot, and these resources are just incredible. But let me scroll on down here because I want to show you this. This is the backlinks from x.com. And a backlink is when a website links to another website in a piece of content, a link leading back to their website. So this is from x.com, 2012, some of these articles. And you have the future of commerce will combine your social network and mobile device. It actually was just announced just earlier this week, I think, the social credit score that's going to be implemented into Twitter. So that, very fast how quickly they're moving to roll this out now that Elon has acquired Twitter. How Ripple networks are transforming money. And this is all from x.commerce, which I'm assuming is a subsidiary or an extension of x.com. How cryptocurrencies transform money, open web payment standards and the new economy, the future of money is the web, standard open ID integration for PayPal access, PayPal X developer network, mining World Bank data, the crisis of money and its metamorphosis, decentralized innovation for financial data, introducing adaptive payments, how Seconds is democratizing mobile payments for global citizens. And this is all from x.commerce. Now, this one is where it gets interesting. Shares an article here. The article was written by Manu Sporny for x.commerce, the e-commerce platform that was being developed by eBay. Okay. And in this article, they're talking how Ripple networks are transforming money, x.com. So you go back and you look at this. This is the actual article right here from 2012. If you guys can see that right there in the top left corner, April 20, 2012. Okay. I know this is very small text for you guys to read, but he's talking about direct trust networks, delegated trust networks. The question becomes, is there a hybrid trust network that provides the benefits of both direct trust networks and delegated trust networks? Before we delve into answering that question, we need to understand a bit about underlying technology for enabling a hybrid direct delegated trust network. And this right here, Ripple Trust Networks, are fascinating in that they merged the best of direct trust and delegated trust networks. If you recall, a direct trust network is beneficial because there are typically no fees involved and very little transactional risk because you are transacting with your friends and family. A delegated trust network is beneficial because it allows you to safely conduct business with strangers with safeguards in place that ensure that the stranger follows through with that transaction. Ripple Trust Networks combine the best of both worlds. The new technology that makes this possible is the social web. Okay? Ripple Networks in practice. And then if you go back on down here, they actually, in this article, they have this link right here for a live implementation. It says, in fact, there is already a centralized live implementation of the concept transacting real money. Now, if you hit that website, it takes you to the original ripplepay.com, and this is the homepage. RipplePay.com is a payment system where everyone is a banker. Close that out. You guys can see this. This is the original Ripple.com. Okay. RipplePay.com home. RipplePay.com is a payment system where everyone is a banker. Connect to your friends, family, and associates, and your credit with them becomes a fully functional currency. And it shows the exchange rates between all the different national currencies. Okay. Gives you a little bit of a login, right? And then this is from way back in the day, 2011, 2010. Like I said, this original Ripple network got started up in early 2000s by Ryan Fugger, and then it moved on over here in 2012 when Jed, Arthur, and David created XRP, the currency. That really is the secret sauce to the Ripple network, but then they founded the Ripple company, and then that is the Ripple that we're dealing with today, and XRP is the currency that makes the Ripple network even more efficient and is that currency that removes the trust. And we know and understand that Ripple has the simple goals of making XRP a world reserve currency that's as liquid as a G10 currency. So we're finally starting to see this vision come to life. And it was interesting to find Citizen of the Future, hours, hours of research checking through all these backlinks to x.com that refer to Ripple, that sharing these articles here that talk about Ripple Pay, talk about the advantages of it back then, and then just now think of how far along we are today and how seamless Ripple has made their enterprise offerings for businesses and then their offerings for central bank digital currencies and for central bank customers as well. Think about how they're approaching central banks and telling them, hey, we got the technology and basically the template that you can build a CBDC on the Ripple XRP ledger in one day. That's a pretty good selling proposition for central banks. But then you also are seeing that for enterprises and solutions that are doing cross-border payments or smaller payment solutions, you're seeing that ramp up as well as we get the clarity. Now, in the session with Citizens of the Future, he showed us the mind map of the different regulators, the different international governing bodies for payments infrastructure, for data, and he showed all the connections. And it brings me to this next point that's been kind of circulating in the community lately, and I wanted to add on. This next point that I'm going to talk about doesn't relate to the interview that I did with Citizens of the Future. Like I said, be ready for that one to drop, hit the notification bell, and that one's going to be dropping in the next couple of days. Probably Wednesday, we're going to drop that one to premiere as a live stream. So we'll have a watch party. I'll be there with you guys, and we can watch that full deep dive on all of this. But one of the groups that we were talking about was the Financial Conduct Authority. And here we have this. This was recently discussed. I know Bearable Bull did a video on this, talking about XRP being a stable coin, a multi-currency stable coin. And it all comes from this article right here, this Twitter post. Nathan Price found this. And he's talking about, if I stop seeing this stuff, I'll think otherwise. Is XRP for retail? BIS, FCA, IMF, XRP hybrid. I just want others to see what could happen or being happening that we might not be paying attention to. Keep your eyes open. And so right here you can see this is a letter that was written to Miss Caroline Rogers, the Secretary General of the BIS. And then this was written by Ripple to them. And saying here, Ripple welcomes the opportunity to comment on the consultative document on the prudential treatment of crypto asset exposures, the consultation paper published by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision on June 10th, 2021. Now, this gets interesting because we just saw the news that this exact committee actually just approved the prudential treatment of crypto asset exposures. They just signed off on basically allowing these banks to hold up to 2% of their reserves in crypto assets. And that goes into implementation January 1st, 2025. Okay. And then we see here in this little, letter here to the BIS, Ripple quotes here this fca.org, this document, this link here. And this is the Financial Conduct Authority. Okay. And they're talking about this, and the quote here is limitation as a multi-currency stablecoin. So to facilitate macroeconomic and international monetary stability, stablecoin arrangements should not undermine confidence in and the stability of domestic fiat currencies. In the United States, this may require additional limitations on any stablecoin that is not exchangeable for the underlying fiat currency, one-to-one net of fees, or for which the value is determined by reference to more than one fiat currency, multi-currency stablecoins. And so this is where the conversation comes about. And right here, the FCA is a financial regulatory body in the United Kingdom, but operates independently of the UK government. Okay, so this is just one, like I said, in Citizen of the Future, showing us the mind map and the connections in these governing bodies that regulate payments and so much more. But they're starting to refer to XRP as a stable coin. And I watched some of Bearable Bull's video where he talked about this. And this is actually a theory that we've been talking about on our channel within our community as well, about XRP needing to be a high-priced stable coin to provide the liquidity value needed for some of these networks, these wholesale payments on the back end of the financial system. And so I just thought that I wanted to give my thoughts on this. I do think that there is a potential for XRP to be a stable coin. And when we call it a stable coin, for me, it's in the sense of how quickly, how little risk you have in your transaction because of how quickly it settles. Now, you may not want to hold XRP on your balance sheet as a reserve right now when obviously the price is varying from day to day, minute to minute, quite often. But when you go to send a transaction on the network, obviously you can be in and out of XRP in seconds and your value is transferred within 4 seconds. And so relative to the existing financial system and the payments infrastructure that we have to go through today, it is stable because you only have exposure for 4 cents compared to days. When you send an international money transfer and it's going to take 4 to 5 business days, you have all sorts of currency risk and third-party risk in that transaction as well. And then we talked about this with Citizen of the Future. He said that there's $9 trillion in heirs. And I think the current reports that we get is about a 6% of all SWIFT transactions fail or are heirs. And so you think about that, SWIFT, the existing payments network, 6% failure is acceptable. I mean, that's crazy, right? And then when you put a dollar value on it, it's $9 trillion in errors per year. That's truly incredible. And then, that's just 9 trillion there before you get to the $30 trillion of Nostro Vostro accounts, pre-fund accounts that get eliminated when you start to use XRP on-demand liquidity. But I do believe, for me, the XRP is going to be stabilized at a much higher price. Whether that price is going to be $50 or $50,000, there's a whole different range right there in between, right? But we know the XRP is not going to be a 50-cent stable coin because it would not provide enough liquidity value for these networks, for these problems that are trying to be solved. And the most recent reports tell us that on-demand liquidity since 2019 has settled only $30 billion. So you can see that we've just done a little test so far with on-demand liquidity. And the main thing holding up on-demand liquidity from spreading to the United States is obviously the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, which hopefully will be coming to an end here shortly. But in the meantime, I do believe that you're starting to see the on-ramps, off-ramps fire up in these countries. We just recently got HODL fired up in France and Sweden, Brazil, and the largest Latin America crypto exchange has been just eating up XRP from Ripple. As it gets released to Ripple from the escrow accounts, Bitso is that largest Latin American exchange. And they've just been eating up XRP, and then they are using that to facilitate their on-demand liquidity transactions. And it's working now because we don't need that much liquidity value. But you can see as we unlock these trillions of dollars, as we start to settle trillions of dollars daily, compared to $30 billion since 2019 when on-demand liquidity basically became a thing. We have a long ways to grow, and we're just getting started here. So for me, just sitting down here with Citizen of the Future, having a fantastic conversation, putting this all together for us visual learners is fantastic. But then now seeing the cryptocurrency, basically the XRP community, starting to understand that XRP kind of is meant to be a stable coin. Now, does that mean that it's going to stay at $100 and it's never going to grow? No, it will grow because of that deflationary nature, the way that XRP gets burned. And also you have to think about how much XRP is locked up and not available. When you do your calculations trying to figure out how high XRP goes, and I hope that you're doing a different calculation from market cap calculation, because I'm going to do a whole separate conversation where I, go more in depth on market cap versus liquidity value. You're going to need to do a different calculation, a different equation to come up with liquidity value versus market cap, which does not apply to the infrastructure networks like, settling Swift's transactions, settling the clearinghouse's transactions, ACI worldwide. We're talking $20 trillion daily that's getting settled up just within a few of these networks, a couple of these clearinghouses, right? So we have a long ways to go, and what's needed for that is a higher price because we only have so many of the tokens. So you can play with the numbers yourself, but when we look at the liquidity value, it's only going to be brought about by a higher price because we only have, 5 billion, 10 billion XRP to settle these networks. Obviously Ripple's setting on 50 billion XRP, give or take, and that's going to be unlocked, and Ripple can decide what they want to do with that. But at the end of the day, there is a limitation on the supply that we're going to have, which means we're going to need a higher price. And we know that they want stability as well for them to hold it on their balance sheet, which I think is where this goes. Ripple understands that to make it a reserve currency, it needs to be stabilized. And to make it as liquid as a G10 currency, you're going to need to fire up the on-ramps and the off-ramps in all these different jurisdictions, working with all these different governments, regulators, with all these bodies like the FCA, and these different institutions that are setting forth the regulations as we speak, as we're being distracted, as we watch Sam Bankman-Fried's about to be brought to the United States. It's like, who cares, man? I'm really interested in seeing these different connections that we have, not only between Elon's X.com and Ripple Pay, XRP, and how that's all coming forth to the light by Elon acquiring Twitter and him rolling out his new plan for that. But then also seeing these documents that refer to XRP as a multi-currency stablecoin and as a wholesale payment solution. That is how we know we're over the target of big problems, multi-trillion-dollar problems, right? And then to see this finally get adopted, ISO 222 finally rolling out. And then we did cover more of the timeline in my interview with Citizens of the Future, guys. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of a glimpse at what is coming, talk about this most recent connection between Elon and XRP. And it's definitely fun, definitely fascinating. And I definitely have my speculation on what all Elon's working on. And it is definitely good to see what's all being exposed. We got the Twitter files. And that's kind of how we wrapped up the conversation with Citizen of the Future, is talking about how having, all of this decentralized journalism, this decentralized research that is just directly over the target. We're right on their ass and they can't stop it. They really can't. And now that we finally got some guys getting in control here that are freeing up the conversation, allowing us to share all of this information, show the corruption, for me, it's okay. Now we get to see that. How do we invest? How do we prepare? How do we plan? And how do we take action? Not only, taking the hours of research, the accumulation of all these documents, but then how do we apply that to our investment thesis? And that's what we're trying to do here on this channel. So if you guys appreciate what we're doing, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Let's watch. This interview is going to be probably dropping on Wednesday, but I wanted to give you guys a little update, sneak peek on what's coming for you guys. So we got a lot. We got the XDC deep dive is going to be dropping on Christmas, and and much more on the way as well. Everything down below is at my website, zachrector.com, if you want to use our affiliates, support the channel that way. Or like I said, if you can just do me a favor, smash that thumbs up for me, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay, I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you all. Take care out there.